The legendary Steve Jobs said that innovation distinguishes a leader from a follower. On the all-new season of It's My Biz, you'll get to meet legends and leaders alike. In Season 4, our 13 small business owners come face-to-face with successful self-made entrepreneurs and influential thought leaders. They'll get advice from the very people who created and built some of the most famous brands and businesses we know. Join us and vote small business, our legends in the making, right here on the all-new season of It's My Biz. In tonight's first episode of the season, our business owner comes face-to-face with some of South Africa's greatest thought leaders, the CEO of a large mobile provider, a leading trend analyst, and a sales guru. The man about to take his small business into a new era is Alan-Knott. I went to meet him at his showroom in Isando, Johannesburg.
Being a pharmacist gave me a training that made my mindset very strong in terms of looking for detail and perfectionist. And eventually what happened was I worked at the hospital for 10 years and my dad took ill, so obviously, being a family business, somebody had to take over and try and get the business rolling. So I left the pharmacy and then eventually joined the family business. Obviously the other big challenge was coming from a pharmacy which was like a closed environment, which was very, very protected. You see the raw world when you come into the real business world,
So let's talk about uncertainty.
One has to create a very strong brand or a strong product that the demand will be created automatically. Attention to detail, quality, like pharmacy, has to be the correct dose, the correct size. Same thing with furniture. Quality, we don't compromise on. And doesn't matter what industry you're in, quality is paramount. If the quality is right, you're going to get customers coming back to us.
Repeat customers mean you're doing a lot right. So what does ultimate success look like for you?
If we can naturally become the preferred supplier of office furniture in the area, we become the brand that's so strong that if a guy needs furniture, our name brand comes his mind immediately.
So why would I come to you?
First, I think, is the personalized service you're going to get from us, which is paramount. We're lacking that in our country. Secondly is we have stock available. That means I have a warehouse where any item you choose on the showroom floor, I can literally give it to you within 24 hours.
So I could walk away with this chair today?
Yes, you have your bucky outside, we load it up for you and off you go. And we have an installation team that can come in and do an installation for you within 48 hours.
So what are you hoping to learn from our thought leaders?
Primarily to obviously give guidance and knowledge in terms of how one can go about growing a strong brand. Like taking it from little Isando Road to become a national brand throughout South Africa. Make it a recognized brand where it's perceived to be quality, affordable, and we offer extensive range because that's the bottom line.
Here he is, tonight's small business trailblazer, Alan-Knott. The thought leaders will get to the bottom of Alan's business challenges. They'll ask important questions and share insights based on their own experiences building great brands and businesses. Here's more.
My name is Alan-Knott. I'm an engineer by profession. I've been in telecommunications for the best part of 44 years. I started the Vodacom company in 1993 and retired from that in 2008. My retirement didn't last too long, and I'm now back at Cell C trying to turn that company around.
Hi, my name's Dion Chang. I'm a trend analyst and I run a company called Flux Trends. And we look at changing consumer mindset and specializing in consumer behavior. And we try and drag, sometimes kicking and screaming, the retailers and brands into a new consumer mindset.
My name is Mark Keating and I head up a company called Sales Guru. And our overall objective is the upliftment of sales as a professional profession in South Africa. We do this through a whole range of services. Predominantly really assisting in sales training, both from corporates and individuals.
Now Alan steps into the spotlight to present his business case to the thought leaders. That's coming up after the break.
Nedbank Pocket Pos. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet. Nedbank Pocket Pos. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet.
Hi, good day, gentlemen. My name is Hammond. I'm from Ixaza Office Furniture. We are in a market where we're trying to offer furniture to a customer that's available immediately. And secondly, we're trying to give them furniture that's affordable. We're trying to offer them an extensive range. And obviously with that comes quality. I need to focus my energies in trying to generate sales and try and create a brand out there in South Africa. And thirdly, obviously use the tools available in terms of IT or what else to try and max the impact we can make on the sales market.
Herman, firstly, let me congratulate you. I think you've achieved really good success in the last 3 years. And my brief understanding of your overall business, you're competing in a lot of different markets at the moment, from corporate all the way down to SME. And you've got a very broad-based offering. Do you believe that there's one market segment that will certainly allow you to achieve the growth that you need going forward if you were to focus on that a lot more heavily than some of the other areas?
If we consider the SME market, that's a growing market in South Africa right now. And the advantage is it's primarily individuals that are starting those businesses. Hence, the requirement initially is probably just for a desk and a maybe chair. But as those businesses grow, the range of furniture that we offer, we call it the smart modular range. That furniture can be adapted like a Lego set to suit the growing needs of that organization as well.
In terms of getting your business bigger, clearly the best way to do it, at least in the small experiences we've had, is to get people to do that distribution for you. And when you appoint those distributors, you give away margin. And there's not that much margin for you to give away. So you're going to have to choose people that are as quality conscious as you are, who are prepared to put in the kind of face-to-face setting that you do, which might mean that you might have to put people into distribution channels that you find, as opposed to rely on the people in those channels themselves, which is a mistake that we've made. What we often do now is take our own people, find a channel, put them in the channel, make sure that that personal attention, which is part of what you sell, still continues, and that you don't have someone who's not particularly interested in your company or your brand trying to sell your product. That can be a killer. The distribution channels in the country, there are many. You can pick and choose. I would go and pick them personally. Pick people who are like you,
Like-minded.
that care as much as you care. That understand. Personally, I think the most compelling thing about your product is that I can get it. The most awful thing for me about shopping is if I find something, I like it, I take out my wallet, I want to buy it, and I can't get it. I never go back to that shop, never. If I want to buy something, I want to buy it, and I want to take it with me in my bakkie right now. So that, I think, is the most compelling thing about, yes, you have the quality, yes, you have the good price, yes, you have the personal attention, but actually you've got the stuff. When people want it, they can get it. So if you want to expand your business, do it through distribution channels that you pick yourself. If they don't make money out of you, they're not going to do the job for you. And if you can, put your own people in those distribution channels so that you don't lose your persona and your personality in those kind of third-party channels.
Thanks, because I think it's all about that personal touch and that caring that counts.
If I can just add on to what Alan said about the growth, and certainly we've seen a lot over the last 3 to 4 years with companies trying to grow far too much within a tighter economy. That leads to certainly a lot of downfall. Well, one of the things that's allowed you to get to where you are in the last 3 years is the experience that your customers have had with you, and also that personal experiences that you've added in because you're in such a local geographic market. We see a lot of organizations end up spending 90% plus of their budget trying to attract new customers and less than 10% looking after the existing customers that actually bring the business in. And it's just to be very wary and cognizant of that never forget it's your existing customers that you really want to keep loyal to ensure the business continuation and lose sight of that fact.
The other thing that you said you were wanting to explore was collaborations.
Yes.
And I think for me, the business mantra for the 21st century is collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. And I think it's a very effective way to do it. But the seed I want to plant in your head is to look for very unexpected and unusual collaborations, because all of the collaborations that I've been tracking, the more unexpected and more unusual, the more successful they are. So I think you've already sort of thought about collaborating with stationery suppliers to do that. My left field idea is you bring in this product, a chair that is with lumbar support, and it's quite special, is to actually go into the medical field and go to the chiropractors and people that have bad back problems and say, you should actually go to and look at this chair because this is going to help solve those kind of problems. It's those kind of very, very unexpected alliances which I think will also drive new sales, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much you'll be able to get in terms of that traction, because the word of mouth, especially if it's a health-related problem that a piece of furniture can fix, is a magic bullet for you to look at.
Herman, I'd also just add in another way of looking at driving business, especially within your existing client base. You mentioned you're potentially launching a new product in the next couple of months, and to have almost a mini product launch at your premises with a lot of those clients that might not have actually been around to your showroom, that you can have that personal touch of your interaction with them, and do a 40-minute talk in regards to how your new product is assisting to increase productivity within the workplace. Or an area around that's going to add value to them to actually arrive. At the same stage, it allows them to walk around and experience a little bit more and keep in touch with those customers at the same time.
How do you think we could attract more people to come to the showroom? Now, given that you're in Isando, it's an industrial area, people are reluctant to come in there. And you think, obviously, with the online concept, they might be drawn in to physically come and examine or view the product. You think that might draw feet into the showroom?
The marketing that you do is predominantly still in old media, in print media. And I think you need to move up and get your website into not a passive site where you're just seeing products, because the days of websites just being a passive information portal are gone. It needs to be slightly more interactive. It needs to be more visually based so that people can envisage them sitting in that environment, or what that office environment starts looking like, which then, if you start onto that, and I know that's your future growth thing, is to start some kind of online service. I don't mean online sales initially, but you're starting to see a blur between the online and the offline world, and there's what I'm calling a hybrid customer that jumps between on and offline. And what you're starting to see is that a lot of the browsing, the exploration is happening in cyberspace. So that is where your first engagement with customers is really, really going to be, and which means that your portal, your website, which brings them in, has to be very, very visual and very, very rich, and it can't just be a kind of a static information portal. So I think that's the first thing that you need to kind of start looking at and getting onto the cyberspace highway and moving a little bit away. I'm not saying completely ignore, because you're getting traction from print advertising, but to start going into the virtual world, and you'll find, I think, a lot of people are looking for things there, which then bring people back into your physical store.
I think I just want to follow on from what Dion was saying there. My understanding is that roughly half of your business currently comes from advertising, with the majority being within the print media. And yes. I agree 100% with what Dion's saying, is to move some of it certainly a lot more online. If you're talking, we spoke earlier about the professional bodies, and that's what you'd call your Y generation. These are people that will look online, and you need to be on there on a Google search, and people get on and they can see you as a presence. If you're looking within your mid to corporate types of businesses, potential customers, you've got your sales force. It's them understanding what specific companies or corporates or geographical areas or industries you're wanting to go after, and go and target those guys with a very specific marketing niche. So you almost need two separate strategies that you're going after for each, but without overcomplicating it. If I'm adding on to what Alan said earlier, what you're doing is working. You don't want to add too much on, but whatever you're going to do, just ensure that you've got a well thought out strategy for a period that you can review and see where you've gone.
I think you are starting your business correctly. You're starting it slowly. You're finding your way carefully, and that's the right way to do it. You're differentiating on price, you're maintaining quality, but you are working at a margin which is a lot less than your competitors, and you're providing a personalized service. So the danger there is that when you're working with a product like furniture, which is pretty generic. There are differences, but it's pretty generic. When economies go down, that's the first thing people start cutting on. It's furniture. So you don't want to get yourself into a space where you're working on a much smaller margin, where you're having your stock on hand, and suddenly you have too much stock because you're trying to grow the business too quickly. So unless funding is not an issue for you, it's usually an issue for everybody, but if funding is not an issue for you, then go for it.
Mark recommended that Hammond develop 2 sales strategies, one using the website and the other using his sales force. Dion suggested Hammond look at unexpected collaborations and gave the example of the medical profession. Alan said that if Hammond is going to expand his business through other distribution channels, that he needs to pick those channels carefully and choose people that are just like him. When we come back, we'll get Hammond's response and the top tips from the thought leaders. Don't go away.
Nedbank Pocket POS. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet. Nedbank Pocket POS. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet.
Hammond, lots of great advice, awesome information, lots to work with. Dion's suggestion was that using your lumber chair as a platform to maybe collaborate with the medical profession, that might be a great idea?
Definitely will. I think it will basically create a product that is endorsed by the medical profession, and then obviously to sell it to customers or people that need those lumbar support chairs will definitely add value.
And like Mark suggested, if you're going to have a launch, it might as well be at your premises where everyone can experience your culture.
Well, I think that's true. It's coming in, the personal service, the touch of the personality, and the product will be secondary where they can experience it, touch it, feel it. And we said earlier, come drive our furniture, and I think that will definitely add value.
And Alan was pretty adamant that if you're going to grow and you're going to use distribution channels you haven't used before, you need to pick those people pretty carefully and pick people who share the mindset you have.
I totally agree with him. I think we need people that have the same drive and a passion that's going to maintain the ethos and the values that we started this business with. And I think that is so crucial in trying to expand the business.
Hammond, the moment we've been waiting for, those vital final thoughts and top tips from our thought leaders.
First of all, what I'd say to you is I think you're a naturally good businessman. And the way you're running your businesses, and this is not your first business, you do them properly, you do them carefully, and you do them with a lot of enthusiasm. So I don't think many people are going to offer you much advice. I would say this to you though. Your business is unique, and your business is unique for a few reasons. And if you understand those reasons completely, you'll always be successful. The uniqueness of your business is that you provide quality at a good price, and it's always available, and it has your personal attention. Now, it's the personal attention bit that you're going to have to concentrate on. Because when you expand this business, it's going to be really tough for you to put your personal touch at every touch point as you grow this business. So don't grow too fast, don't grow too quickly geographically. Make sure you choose your partners personally, choose people like you, make sure that they are as successful as you, and you will have good partners and you will grow your business. And good luck.
Herman, I just want to say to you, well, just carry on. You've stood the test of the 3-year mark for a business, a new business. I do think my advice to you would be to embrace the digital side and start exploring that, because what you do with that is ostensibly you are giving a marketing arm when your salespeople can't be out there and when you can't be speaking to other people. Your web portal or your internet portal will do that for you. And then the second point I want to make is those collaborations. I think collaborations are really, really important, and specifically those unexpected ones. So linking the medical profession with your lumbar chair and making that a unique selling point, I think that's a very, very fast gain you can do without spending a lot of investment and money on that. And I think you'll be able to see the growth with that small change.
Herman, the first thing I want to say is just take a step back and give yourself a pat on the back. You've done what certainly a lot of businesses haven't been able to do in the last 3 years, and that's have some really good success. The things that I'd like to share with you to certainly have a think about is don't try and be the best at every single thing and the best in every single market. I think with a limited resource at this stage, be very, very conscious as to the corporate market, who you're wanting to go after, target, and over what period. Your mid-level market, the same thing by industry, and certainly within your SME market, if we're going after professional bodies, select 3 of those and have a targeted approach to really chase them. Just adding on to certainly an area Dion mentioned earlier of the online. I know you do a lot in print, but certainly whether it's print or online, my last tip would be ensure that your staff are so well trained from a service and sales experience that when I call in to get a quotation or information, I'm not just getting the simple amount from a price perspective, but rather that they're engaging with me, making me feel important, and this becomes part of the whole buying experience right from the outset. And just wishing you all the best and looking forward to see what you do going forward.
Excellent advice, Hammond. What do you think your next few steps will be?
I think going back, motivating the sales team, try and get back to existing clients, understand, as Mark said, the reasons why customers first chose us, and let's see if that formula can be rolled out to other clients and see if we can convince them to buy from us. That would be the first point. Secondly, obviously, as Alan said, in terms of collaboration, choose and select people very carefully, and try and obviously, as Dion's suggestion, try and look at expanding the internet site and making it more interactive so that that will actually allow customers